A Turkish journalist has been sentenced to more than a year in jail for her work on the Paradise Papers investigation into offshore tax havens, because it revealed details of the business activities of the country's former prime minister and his sons.
Here's a summary of the article.
A Turkish journalist has been sentenced to more than a year in jail for her work on the Paradise Papers investigation into offshore tax havens, because it revealed details of the business activities of the country's former prime minister and his sons. Pelin Ünker, a member of the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, was found guilty in an Istanbul court of defamation and insult for writing about companies in Malta owned by Binali Y, Ld. R. M. and his sons. The fact is Binali Y, Ld. R. M.'s sons have Maltese companies. Binali Y, Ld. R. M. had already accepted that they have these companies. In the indictment, it is also accepted, Turkey has the world's worst record for jailing journalists, with 68 in prison at the end of last year, according to the Committee to Protect Journalists. All the jailed reporters are facing charges of crimes against the state. The ICIJ's director, Gerard Ryle, condemned Ünker's jail sentence of 13 months, as the latest in a long series of attacks on free speech in Turkey. ICIJ commends Pelin Ünker's brave and truthful investigative reporting, and it condemns this latest assault on journalistic freedom under Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan's autocratic rule.
This post received a score of 39,758, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Didn't one of the reporters working on the Paradise Papers get assassinated by a car bomb in Malta?
You're thinking of Daphne Caruana Galizia, who was using the earlier released Panama Papers to look into corruption on Malta.
Can you ELI5 the difference between the Panama Papers and the Paradise Papers?
The Panama Papers release happened a year earlier and mostly involved individuals. The Paradise Papers came later and also involved a lot of big companies.
Are they in any way connected? Same oversight or anything? Or do they just share similar names?
They were handed over to the same newspaper, Süddeutsche Zeitung, who checked the documents with the help of the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists.
Remember, the only person who went to jail for anything related to the Iran-Contra affair was a protester who stole a street sign. We don't prosecute criminals with a high enough bank account. We elect them.
Iran-Contra is why I don't take Middle Eastern rivalries seriously. I mean, the US selling arms to a post-Islamic revolution Iran via Israel is pretty much taking geopolitics and going, meh, we'd rather have the sweet arms deals.
American Steel was selling steel to Germany during WW II via Argentina as agriculture equipment, still got to make money.
If I remember it right, George Bush's grandfather was up on treason charges for supplying the Germans with war supplies, but strings were pulled and the charges were dropped.
Yea, it was Prescott Bush, father of George H.W. Bush and grandfather of George W. Bush. He was also a senator as well lol. He was selling materials to Nazi Germany, also no other nation was supplying them materials due to WW1 treaties I think. Funny part is that he kept on selling Nazis materials even after US entered the war. That was the reason he was charged with treason. Another big thing is that his company actually used slave labor from Auschwitz. Of course some survivors sued them for apparent reasons, but nothing happened. Source.
Better or worse than being assassinated via car bomb, getting worryingly dangerous to be a journalist these days.
I remember reading end-of-year statistics and you are right, violence against journalists is rising.
Fascist and right-wing governments popping up around the world and the US turning a farther blind eye help.
Greater than Turkey has the world's worst record for jailing journalists, with 68 in prison at the end of last year, according to the Committee to Protect Journalists. All the jailed reporters are facing charges of crimes against the state. Edit, deleted. It was just surprising reaction word guys.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to Speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.